Hey guys, it's quote unquote your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great response video. Um, yeah, so you guys can see it's another Casey Zander video. I think at this point it's become clear that it's crossed the line into the point where like I actually have some kind of problem, and like I'm not joking around here. I'm kind of worried, like like why I can't resist making videos about this guy, to the point that I actually made that video. I mean, it was a large reason that I made that anti-Semitism video was because I was trying to make something different. Like I was saying, like, oh, okay, maybe if I make something different, it'll make it so I don't want to make a Casey Zander video so much because, like every instinct in my body, was telling me, like I was like, make a make another Casey Zander video, an Uncle Z video. Um, Yeah, so at this point, right now, the way I'm feeling is I've given up. I've given up. I'm going to just lean into this. I am going to make Casey Zander videos until I get bored of it, and I don't know when that's going to be. I hope it's going to be very soon. Um, one thing is that Casey's videos are like a great way because he actually, if you watch his other stuff, he discusses other red pill topics. So if you really want to just go like point by point and refute red pill topics, it's easier to do it through a Casey video than from me, like just standing in front of the camera and talking. Not saying that I won't ever do stuff like that again, like for red pill stuff. Like obviously my politicopes will always be like that. But I think I mean, if the opportunity is there to do things that way. And also, that kind of stuff, I think, I was about to say it gets better views, but that's actually not true. It's, interview with the Manlet video, which was a response video. So I do think it is an easier way to get extra views sometimes. I don't know, not always. So anyway, though, but why this particular video? And it's like if you've been following the whole Casey saga, it appears that things have ended between him and Brittany. I think she left him. It's possible that he cut her loose, based on the last video. This video though was over a year ago. It was from Christmas of 2019. And so what is it? Almost like a year and a half ago at this point. And they're going to talk in this video about like what each of them wants out of a relationship. So this is like a year and a half ago. This is relatively early in their relationship. And I think this video really shows a lot of I mean, really, if you've seen any video with them together, like my other video with them, you can see that there were already problems. But this video, they kind of articulate the problems that are there and are going to come up and like have clearly not been resolved even at this time. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, it's going to be hard though because I have blocking the. There we go. Ah, crap. Bear with me, guys. Eesh. All right. I'm
doing.
Now, you know what? I didn't even need to do that. Shit.
This video vlog style today. I mean, obviously the dynamic between me.
There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Now let's just get into it now and let's pretend that never happened.
And her is a little different compared to when I do solo videos. When I do solo videos, a lot of times I'm like real upfront with you guys. But I like it when you guys get a taste of like how I am with a girl too. Fellas,
now I just want to really quick say something here. You guys in the comments are haters. Because like those of you guys who are banging on Casey's looks, like you don't have to like him, but I don't see it. I think he's a good looking guy. I just don't see it. I mean, I know that I don't have a lot of credibility because I've ranked a lot of guys that I think most people wouldn't find attractive as good looking, but he's a good looking dude. I mean, now is he anything special for North Dakota? Probably not. But even in North Dakota, I think he's well above average. I mean, I don't know. I've never been there, but probably.
Before we begin, Registration for my Masculinity Mastered program is now available.
At this point, I'm assuming you guys have already signed up for that anyway, so I should probably just skip that part. And especially, I mean, you guys are definitely all in the semen retention one, right? I don't know if, like, I haven't seen some of you in the MBT, so I'm assuming that a lot of you are just in the semen retention one, which is a great way to improve your masculinity as well. But we talk about that stuff in MBT, so don't forget to, join when you get the chance.
Meaning, if you would like the chance to potentially work one-on-one with me, what I want you to do is I want you to go down below, fill out an application, and book a call with me. If it looks like you're a good fit, I will accept you into this course, and you can potentially be part of it.
A good fit means you can afford it.
Also, comment below Ultimate Bulking for a chance to get my free giveaway this week. I'm giving away one free giveaway of my copied book, The Art of Bulking. If you would like to receive that to learn how to build a better, more masculine...
Bulking is not an art. I think some of you guys in the comments are still into lifting and stuff. And just, general advice, I would say stay away from that. But, whatever. I mean, nobody... I'll also give you another piece of advice. Don't listen to any life advice I give. But so for any of you who are interested in bulking, it's not, there's no art to it. It's not about, my main advice for that point would be don't try to eat to get big. That's because all that's going to do is make you fat. Think about how kids grow. They eat when they're hungry, and it causes them to grow. Well, building muscle is the same way. Kids aren't like, if you take a kid and force feed him an extra 2,000 calories a day, you're not going to make him grow more or grow faster. You're just going to make him fat. So I wouldn't push anything with the eating. And other than that, again, it's just about having, an intelligent lifting program, which I've talked about in other places, so I won't go over it here. Beyond, I'm just going to say, make sure that you recovered and make sure that you're not overtraining. Make sure that you're not lifting too heavy. Stay far away from failure. Keep your volume low, stuff like that. So go on.
Physique, you're going to want to check that out. And what I'm titling it Masculinity versus Femininity.
Let's do Battle of the Sexes on what each other wants out of the person they're with.
Battle of the Sexes as what each person wants. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to say my first, she's going to say her first. What we're going to do is we're going to each take a look at each category to look at the differences between masculine and feminine energy. And the nice thing is that with these videos, you guys get a raw inside look. Okay, there ain't nothing staged.
I don't ever want to hear Casey say the word raw ever again.
There ain't nothing like you get a 10:30 at night image of what each
is going on in our brains.
Thinking. Okay. So we have one list, we have two lists. We have a Casey wants list, we have a Brittany wants list. So the first thing that I think is very, very important for me as a man, number one for me is support. So when I'm looking for a woman, I'm looking for support. What that means is support with my passion, support with my purpose. Because as you guys know, I talk about a lot of things like sexual transmutation.
Okay. Even in the red pill community, this is very far from the norm. Now, I have met guys like this. It's not unheard of. Okay. Casey is not the first one I've ever heard of with this. But this is, even red pillars tend to often, we're very heavy on, I want a woman who cooks and cleans, who likes to, who basically gives sex on demand, and and maybe blowjobs on demand, and who wants kids and is going to raise them, stuff like that. This is not the norm in the red pillars, to say that I want support with my career. That's very unusual, but it's a huge thing for Casey, and it's a huge thing to the point that he makes it the first thing he says he wants out of a relationship. It's his number one thing, not sex, not the other stuff, which is, and this is a guy who's obviously not afraid of being obvious, so I have no doubt that he means it. And I think it's, we can criticize or not. I mean, I'm really not going to criticize somebody who says that they want a wife who's basically, a maid/sex slave. That's whatever, man. Hey, whatever. I mean, whatever works for you. I mean, there's probably a lot of guys who do want that. The that again, let's take away the moral part if you think that's immoral or not. That I think has more potential to lead to a healthy relationship than what Casey wants. I mean, maybe it can work, but I don't know. I mean, obviously, it hasn't worked in Casey's case.
Mutation or releasing, sexual energy, how to manifest masculine energy. The thing is that the only way to keep a relationship healthy, I don't care if you're married, I don't care if you're divorced,
you gotta be there.
If you're divorced, it's probably impossible to keep your relationship healthy because it no longer exists. It's like, how do you stay healthy when you're dead?
Getting back in the playing field, you got to be there for the person, but also you have to maintain masculine energy and she has to maintain feminine energy. As soon as you start slipping into that wrong side, it's a downhill spiral. So for me, it's support, because as you guys know, all men need passion, all men need purpose, all men need drive.
No, not true. False.
If you're dealing with a woman who doesn't support what mission you're on, it's going to be very, very hard for your guys' relationship,
your dynamic, to even coincide with each other.
Disagree completely. The tons of guys out there who are very passionate, and they're what does he mean by support? Like does he mean just like put up with and be okay, or maybe maybe kind of cheer you on, but like to actively like be involved in making your dreams come true? No, I don't think you need that from a woman. Like, this isn't a moral thing at all. I'm saying, like, does a relationship need that to work? No, absolutely not. And I would say the same thing as the reverse. Now it can happen. Is it necessary? No. And I think that there might even be something to it towards keeping some separation.
Each other. You're just not going to be able to coincide with each other, like be together.
Look how much she loves this guy. She loved him. She loved you, Casey. She loved you. And you threw it away for I don't even know what. And I know that you don't get it. I know that you still don't get it.
Right. So you agree with me on this point?
I do. Yes.
Okay.
No, she really doesn't. But that's the thing, is she's so in love with this guy that she's smart. Okay, she's smart. And this is the thing, is she's so in love with this guy that she says stuff that she knows is just trying to make him happy. Now, I don't think he was either physically or emotionally abusive, but I think that that's what she's basically her whole thing in this relationship is role play. Her entire time in this relationship, she's been playing a part because she's been having to humor him, saying like she's in love with this guy. She's like, this is what makes him happy, so I'm going to go along with this nonsense. Did she ever actually buy into it herself? I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but I don't believe so.
What does Brittany want for number one?
Respect.
Yep.
This was the one that when I saw this like a week ago or something, and when I said like I want to make a video about this when I heard her say that. I ended up not doing it because there was other stuff that got in the way, and I also said like I need to get away from these Xander videos. This respect was if that's the first thing you're saying, that's a huge red flag to me. That's a bigger red flag to me than Casey's she needs to support my dreams thing. The respect should be axiomatic. That there's some respect that you have to name that's the first thing that comes to your mind, like that you're not getting respect from this guy, especially when you see other videos of them talking about their relationship problems. This seems to be a recurring issue, that she feels like she's not being respected by him. And we'll see more about that in this same video.
Elaborate.
So out of me, when I'm looking for a man, I want them to be able to respect me in what I do, how I act, how I am.
If you guys get deep into the polarity, and you're relying on her for the emotional energy, and you're kind of just the direct one who's doing your thing.
And then the females are relying on them to be, that support system, that shoulder to lean on. That
she doesn't believe this shit. She's saying it to make him happy.
Security that they need. Sometimes it's not always going to clash. Sometimes it's not always going to be.
Yeah, both people are going to have to fit both sides at the time a little bit. Number 2, one of the highest things that a lot of men value is sex. Now, here's the thing with sex. You guys at some point are going to introduce sex into your relationship. For a lot of you, that could be at a different point. It could be after a long streak of retention. It could be when you met the right partner. It could be during marriage if you're like about purity. For everybody.
Is Casey faking his voice? I can't tell if he's like faking it to make it seem deeper than it is. I actually kind of like his voice. I think it's kind of soothing. In this video in general, I would say Casey is being more likable than he usually is, which is not saying much at all. But I do find him a little bit likable in this video. It's not like, like Kinobody, who I like Kinobody. I like him. And then you've got on the other end, you've got Dan Bilzerian, who I can't stand. And Casey's kind of like, I don't know. I like him in this video, but normally I kind of dislike him. So I wouldn't even say that. Normally I'm kind of neutral towards him. Maybe have kind of like maybe a benign contempt. But anyway, I'm just wasting your guys' time here. Other than to say that I'm not sure that's his real voice, but if it is fake, I think he might want to stick with it because I like it.
But it's going to come at a different time, Here's the thing. Men get more validation from sex than women do. Everybody knows this. Men feel fulfilled and men express their love oftentimes with what's between their legs. Now, here's the thing.
And what the woman is willing to.
What he can get her to do, essentially, a lot of times. Now, that's how a lot of relationships are ran. Now,
okay, and so I think we've got 2 red flags in his first thing. So, like, the first thing he says is, "I want her to support me." To me, that's a big red flag, all right, because it's just so bizarre. It's so unusual, and shows like almost a next level narcissism. Now look, it's not Casey's fault he's a narcissist, and there's nothing to say that there are narcissists who have good relationships. It's a disability. It's a disability that you can work with. However, when you talk about like when the first thing is like, I want her to help me with her career, that shows me that this is narcissism that is not being dealt with effectively. The second thing is he gets into sex. Now, okay, I think most guys would put that first. There's nothing wrong with him having it second. The problem is with most guys, and I mean like probably over 99%, it's the validation aspect of sex is a very small part of it. It's mainly now, granted, there are guys, especially like incel type guys, who say, no, I need the emotional connection that comes. It's like, okay, cool, fair enough. But let's say you're already in the relationship. The emotional connection is there. What they need then, it's the physical drive. It's the physical thing. Like, I need this release, and I get the maximum satisfaction from doing it with you or with a woman, with a partner, than I would with my hand, or something like that. This is very common, to the point where it's the norm. That clearly, based on what Casey said, is not his issue. It's not the physical part. It's almost like he seems to think the physical thing is a distraction, and he wants instead that it's really just an ego thing for him. It's just a thing that's proved, like how he mentioned in the other video, which I believe is actually comes after this one, that like he needed to find he needed to sleep with women, not because it got him off, but because he needed to prove something to himself that he could. And this thing he mentions with it's actually Brittany who actually interjects this. He wants to not just sleep with her on demand to prove that I don't know that he can, that he's the boss, because this guy is so insecure that no amount of validation is enough. But it's not just enough to have sex. He has to get her to do things. Now, my guess is those things are uncomfortable, degrading, or even painful. And I don't want to moralize here. This isn't really the forum for that. But that she is not into. And she's doing it because she loves this guy. She's doing it to keep him happy. And we're gonna have to see, I guess, if the next one is gonna be so accommodating in that front.
Here's the thing. I still value sex. In the past, I've done big semen retention streaks, and I'm still a fan of retention for those of you that have seen it. But here's the thing:
They all think that you aren't, that or like that you just never have sex.
what I describe this as is you have to take a standpoint of exiting the field in order to know when to re-enter the field. My standpoint from how I was in the past, I used to be a very sex-driven male. I was like I was just like the mass majority of people. I was very focused. I liked sleeping around. I was 19, 20, 21. Like I had that ego party male state that a lot of people have. The thing is
again, I can't speak for most guys, but like, I mean, I was never really like in the sleep around because I wasn't really that good looking. So, I mean, again, like I got with the girls who I got with, it was because seriously, ego never had anything to do with it. Like, I mean, I knew, like, cause I knew I was like finessing, like I wasn't like getting any girls in like a Chad way where like they were like just like in awe of my masculinity or my looks or anything. Any girls I got with was from charm, which is like there's no real ego thing of that. And really most guys I've talked to, it hasn't been. I really don't think ego's that big a thing. I think that's only for like, again, for Chad types, and maybe that's why Casey thinks this way. But I think more likely he's just a freaking weirdo.
why I always wondered why it was so hard for me.
Oh, guys, in the comments, please leave what your favorite cereal is, your favorite breakfast cereal.
To actually connect with a female beyond that was because I was playing the wrong type of game.
So you were just playing like the sex game?
Well, right. Well, right. I was not looking. I was not trying to actually look at this from a standpoint of men and women. I looked at this as a standpoint of how can Casey fulfill his ego. And that's what I teach against, because I know what it's like to be on both sides. And
you teach against trying to fulfill ego. Your entire life is devoted in service to your ego. I mean, I know it's like, I don't like to use the term because I think it's kind of cliche and like just wrong the way it's. However, in this case, it's appropriate. Casey Zander is truly a slave to his ego. His ego owns him in like the most unpleasant, painful way. I mean, that it's like, if you want to tell, like, Casey Zander is seriously like the best argument I've ever seen for getting rid of your ego. Because I always thought like ego, it's like, oh yeah, it's bad for other people, but why is it bad for you? Fulfilling your ego is a great thing. It's like, well, I guess the end result of fulfilling your ego is you turn into Casey Zander. So that if that's a thing, it would scare everybody straight. Everybody would become like, would seek enlightenment or something. I don't know, if they knew this is the thing. Because it's not just a matter of how cringe it is to watch. It's a matter of like how clearly unhappy this guy is.
That, so I might as well just tell them about that. But the thing is, I still value sex. Now, when I've been on retention, the benefits that you get with it are phenomenal. I've made other videos with.
No, they aren't. And again, I'm not telling you to fap. I'm not telling you to fap, and I'm not telling you to have sex. But there are no worldly benefits. There may be spiritual benefits. They all say that, people who are in it. But again, that's part of a larger practice. By itself, it's not going to do shit. And I want to make it clear, I'm encouraging you guys to not fap and to minimize the sex, even if you're in a relationship. But if she's okay with that.
With her about dating on retention. But the thing is that there's going to come a standpoint when you're going to want to reintroduce sex.
Guys, dropshipping does not work. I'm kidding.
Well, that's true.
I've been dropshipping for 4 years. I'm not here to, sell you any BS course or anything like that.
Oh, bullshit. We'll never find out exactly what he was going to say, though.
I'm not saying be celibate your whole life. Like, for a lot of you, you're doing these 90-day streaks, 100-day streaks, 200-day streaks. That's fine. I've been there too. The problem with that, though, is it's like, what is the end outcome with what you're doing retention for? Okay, that's what you have to remember. It should be to level up your life, level up other areas, use that masculine focus to start to
level up areas other than your life. How exactly would you do that?
realize that there's more to sex than just surface value. And when you're ready
more
to
to sex than just to fulfill your ego.
fulfill the ego, when you're ready to re-enter it, when you've actually, removed the FAP, remove the screens to fulfill your sexual energy, when you've actually connected one-on-one with a woman, depending on what your beliefs are, here's the thing, everybody has their own take, reintroduce it when you're ready.
My second thing
I think that last part was good advice.
that I think is good to have in a relationship is love and affection. Like you
Never would have guessed, right?
I kind of like the way Casey said it. It was kind of like, like, you'll hear more about this later, but this is like, now just saying, you would think most girls would put that first, but I you know what, and then I'll stop here and just go into it and see what she has to say. Because like, you think, like, on the surface, that one seems fine, right? Just like Casey's sex thing on the surface seemed fine for number 2, and then you realize like, oh, but let's see what happens here.
Okay, so love and affection, I'll elaborate on that. So the reason I say that is because I'm a very
She's a touchy-feely girl.
I'm a very touchy-feely, girly girl. I love all that mushy-gushy stuff that Casey, as a man,
I hate it.
he hates it.
I don't like holding hands. I don't like any of that. I'm like, oh, that's...
Not being touchy-feely has nothing to do with being masculine or feminine. There's very touchy-feely guys. There's very, cold, distant girls. It's really more of a cultural thing than a masculine feminine thing. Like, if, for instance, let's just say you had like an Italian American guy, like a working class Italian American guy and a wife from Sweden. I wouldn't be surprised if the Italian guy was much more like physically affectionate and the woman was more distant, because it's kind of like, it's like I said, it's really more of a cultural thing. It has nothing to do with masculinity and femininity.
So I call it cringe radar. When I start holding hands and stuff, that cringe radar goes
and I
up.
say, are you cringing right now? I always say that.
And this is like, I feel like the first time we've ever really seen Casey be genuine, because I can identify with that stuff. I mean, I think that stuff is like, when I see couples like be affectionate with each other, I'm just like, ew. Like, I'm not talking about like making out. I'm talking about the stuff like holding hands. It's just like gross. I don't, ew. It's just, we just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And like I said, I think that's more of a, a cultural. I don't get why people need to do it. But I mean, no hate. I mean, whatever. I mean, if it makes you happy. But and I'm not saying that just because Casey's not into it, that means these guys can't work out. I think the reasons they didn't work out was for a million other reasons. But I'm kind of with Casey on this one.
I used to say that all the time. I'm like, are you cringing? Does this make you cringe? So
why is it important that you need that?
It's important to feel like I'm loved. Because then if I'm not feeling that love and connection or that affection that I need and want and attention, then I start going through my brain. Women start going through their brain.
So, I mean, what she's saying here is that she's not feeling love from Casey. That's obvious. And you do not need to be like really touchy-feely to make your partner feel loved. I think that's kind of the point I was trying to make. That's more of a cultural thing. Casey is not touchy-feely because he doesn't like it. That's fine. That's not a problem. The reason that she doesn't feel loved from Casey is because he doesn't love her. He never did, because he's a narcissist and he's incapable of feeling love. Doesn't mean a relationship with him can't work out, but he's never going to be able, talking to Brittany now, he's never going to be able to love you the way you love him. It's not his fault. It's just the way he's wired. So that is why I think her second one is such a red flag, because it's she can blame like, oh, he's just not touchy-feely and that's her making an excuse. That's not it. That's bullshit. He's not touchy-feely, true, but the real issue is he doesn't love you.
Brain wondering what the heck is going on. Why is this man being so cold-hearted?
I think that explains it.
Because he has a heart of stone. That's just who he is. You take it or leave it, girl.
That's what I'm saying, you guys. If you choose to actually be committed with somebody, you're going to realize that you have to actually understand where the other person's coming from.
Yeah, you got to understand both sides of the field.
And that's the hardest thing for me. Like, I hated doing that. I don't like putting myself in other people's shoes. I have that like masculine drive where it's like work. All I care about is my...
That has nothing to do with masculinity. Okay? The work thing might, but it has like not being able to empathize with people. That's not masculine. That's just you being a psychopath.
my passion, my purpose, like I'm doing me.
How many times do I say, before you say or do something, step out of your shoes and see what
All
the other
time.
person might think
I'm
or
too
feel?
blunt a lot of times. You guys even see in my YouTube videos, I'm blunt right away.
Yeah.
So, that's important
Are you sure you're blunt and not just stupid?
to her, and in order for it to be healthy, you have to listen to both sides of the party.
And you got to see what both sides of the party
Right.
needs or wants.
My third thing that I need is going to be respect. And I put as a tag on this, I put social media.
Okay, third is fine for it. Let's see how the rest of it goes. I mean, I think it's a little weird, but let's go on.
For an example, you see a lot of women who they're in a relationship, but yet they're posting their ass all over Instagram and they're taking all these scandalous selfies and all this stuff, and like, I'm not about that. Okay, if I'm with a woman and if I'm with a woman, I need her to carry herself like a woman, which is why I tell you guys, you need to qualify women on other things beyond sex. It's great if you're getting sex, I'm happy for you, but here's the thing, oftentimes the energy isn't right. It messes with your head because it's not the right partner for you. She's probably carrying other types of baggage with her. Like, there's certain women you don't want.
Way to let your girlfriend talk, Casey.
Just like there's probably certain men you don't want.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Now, if I realize a woman's doing these things, and there was mutual agreement, like right there, I would just end it, because that respect boundary has already been crossed. And the thing is it's very, very hard to get that back. So the thing is if you enter into it with like wholesome traits, like this is what's expected as you enter into the agreement, this is what needs to be held up. If one of the parties breaks the trust or the treaty or whatever you'd like to call it, what I'm saying is as a man, it's your job to command the respect and set the ground rules. So that way
Yeah, it's this just isn't a male-female thing. This is like any relationship. Both parties are going to have boundaries. I mean, that's in any type of relationship, both parties will have boundaries. Any type of consensual relationship. That's just a fact. And yeah, I think there should be communication about it, but like the whole, like, Casey has to make everything about this man stuff. Like, I would like to see him like just define explicitly what are masculine traits and what are feminine traits, because I don't think he even knows what the hell he's talking about. And this is an example, because this boundaries are something that people have, and that's nothing to do with men or women.
knows what she's getting into
and where everything stands in the relationship.
Oftentimes women don't have a world that they can actually fall into because the guy hasn't set the framework for anything. It's like most times people just hook up and start having sex. The guy falls in love and gets too intimate. She flees, breaks his heart, and like he doesn't understand why. It's because you have to set the pillars of masculinity first as what you're doing as a man, so that way she has a reason to give you the intimacy. But what goes along with that with me is just gonna be like respect. You have to be like if I'm gonna be committed with a girl, like you have to be a sweet girl. You have to show wholesome traits, because I'm trying to hold myself to a higher level. I advise you to do that, which means your women need to be held to a higher level. I'm gonna leave it at that.
You can't be scandalous all over the internet. Number 3,
always looking to him for approval. It's just sad.
Commitment. So when I am with someone,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What did she say? This is something about commitment. Whatever. Let's just let her talk.
Be able to have commitment with just me and only me. But one thing like I struggle with sometimes is like Casey's so focused on his business
my brain doesn't turn off.
No, that like some days I'm like.
So commitment, like the thing is like she needs the commitment. So like. You want me to be present a lot of times, right?
Yeah, more present, because then when you're not present all the time, and his main focus
is making men better.
That computer,
I like to make men better through this YouTube
which
channel.
Which is 100% okay. That is okay, but sometimes it's like
it's not okay.
Hello.
Right.
Hi.
So let me help you out. Let me help you guys out with this one. If you're a man on a mission, if you're a man.
So I think that the third one for Casey, I think, was fine. The thing about respect, I think it was fine. So like there 2 red flags in the first one for Casey, and then the third was it. For her, I think the first 2 were red flags. The third one is fine, saying commitment. The problem is that when she mentions it, it's clear that she's not getting it. The guy that he's not, he's committed in the sense that he's monogamous. I believe that. but he's not committed. I mean, where would he even find the time to sleep with another girl? He's not committed in the sense that he's like he said, present in the relationship, because his love isn't her, it's his work, it's his cringe, masculine energy therapy or whatever the fuck.
And on a purpose, if you're trying to be the dude that has it together, I advise you need to try your damn hardest to have set hours. Like after 8 p.m., like I'm trying to turn the brain off. I'm removing the laptop.
Or try to include her in things.
Right.
Like,
She's like a little sidekick for me. Any tasks I need, she helps me out. She's for the mission.
Yes.
And I'll get to, I'll save that for the end of this video.
Yeah. So I mean, like I was saying earlier, this guy. We've all heard the thing. The guys who they want a maid, they want a sex slave. Casey wants a secretary, and it's just so weird. It's so fucking weird. Honestly, it would be like one of the bigger red flags if like a woman I knew came to me talking about some guy she was in, and like this was the big thing for him, like that she's like not being supportive enough in his career. That would be enough without me meeting him to say leave him, because it can't work. And yeah, and it's like for her, so when she goes and says or include her in things, like she doesn't give a fuck about Casey's bullshit, purpose or passion or whatever it is. But she says she does this whole include, because she feels like this is the only way she can get attention from him. So the commitment thing or whatever, like that by itself is fine, but what she said in it, because when it becomes clear that her helping him out with his work is the only way she can get attention from him, that may be the biggest red flag we've had so far.
But she helps me out, meaning that was my first one. Remember, the first topic for me is support. She has to be for the mission. She has to help my passions. If she can do that.
So Casey's tactic to get support was to just just starve your girlfriend or wife of all affection, that she has no choice but to give you free secretary work to get any attention from you at all. I mean, I guess you can't argue with the results, right?
Well, guess what? She's a great asset because she's bettering my life and we're sharing a connection together.
Yeah, that's great asset. That's probably not the way you should be talking about your wife or girlfriend.
Correct.
What's your next one?
You're on 4.
Oh, I took over your topic?
Yeah, you took over my topic of commitment.
Okay, for me, what I'm going to need as a man is going to be
no apology.
Space, without women or her, a female, thinking that means there's a pullback.
And that's a hard thing for females to do.
No, it's a hard thing for people to do. Because if somebody is not paying attention to you and they're in a relationship with you, that is a problem. That do you guys just not understand what a You know what? I'm sorry. I'm being unfair. She does. She understands what a relationship is instinctively. Maybe not. Maybe even beyond instinctively. And she knows that she's not getting what she needs from it. She's in a relationship, but she's actually alone. So she's because there's plenty of guys or girls or whatever who need space to do their thing. That is not the issue. You can try to pretend that that's the issue, but it's not. The issue is that beyond that, is she getting affection beyond that, or seeing from her, beyond that he's there, that he cares? No, he's not, because he doesn't. And she's trying to meet him halfway, saying oh, I understand, but you can give me some love and affection. No, he can't, girl.
That definitely is, and you have to explain that. And I've always said, what I've said is, if you need space for the day, you have to tell me, so that I don't think, hey, is he just needing space because he doesn't want to be with me anymore? Because then that falls back into your other things you need, the commitment, the respect. So if you drop off of one thing, it can fall back into other things that you want out of a real person.
Right. So
yeah, the advice thing here, actually, obviously, it's in their relationship. We know what's really going on, that it's something bad. But overall, I think that they're kind of making an okay point here. I think again, it's the importance of communication, and like I could see how that would be frustrating because like there's going to be times where you do need space to do whatever, and or maybe you just need space. Period. Like you just need like I need some space to myself, and it must be emotionally exhausting to kind of have to constantly reassure her, or for her to have to reassure him, whatever party it is. Like, look, it's not against you. I just, I'm with you. I want to be with you, but I'm busy, or I need to be alone for right now, or whatever, man. And this is one of the reasons why I hate don't want to be in a relationship is for this kind of nonsense. But if you're gonna do it, this stuff is gonna need to be there.
Here's what I tell you guys. Like, I want your guys' calendars booked with clients, booked with your business, booked with, this is your time to go to the gym.
Making yourself better.
If that is in your time frame, you do not have time to be sitting on the phone texting her emojis all day.
Yes.
If you have that much time,
it's not about doing it all day, you fucking clueless moron. It's about showing you're there and that you care. She doesn't need you to be sending like what you said, emojis all day long, but you could do something. You could call her at lunch. You could say, that's what a relationship is. You can do something, and yeah.
In the day, you're not playing your cards right because she's going to catch on to the sense that you're not high value. In order to make yourself high value, I don't want you to fake it by doing manipulation tactics and pullbacks when really all you're doing is playing Minecraft and smoking pot.
Okay, so here we're going to think. Basically, Casey is saying here that PUA push-pull shit is good, but what the issue is that you need to actually really be busy. So, like, he's saying, like, it's manipulative if you're pretending to do it, but if it's really that you're busy, then it's good, and that's going to attract her. So he regardless of his denial to Keitel that he's a red pillar, and he obviously is. He believes in all the same shit. He just believes, you shouldn't be faking the red pill nonsense. That's really the only way he's different from the red pillars.
Which is not what you should be doing.
Right, you have to
drop the video games, break them, get them out of here.
Right, you have to actually level up your life. And in order to do that requires time and energy. And oftentimes money, investment. You have to take risks on yourself. If you're doing all that, you're trying to learn, you're trying to better
Wrap
your
it
body,
up, Casey.
You're working on yourself, maybe you're building a business. Whatever your passion is, that's a big time commitment. Meaning the female needs to understand that space you're commanding as a man doesn't necessarily mean that you're losing attraction or cheating. It just means like, hey, this
is this almost over?
Shine.
Yep, I agree. Number 4.
Yeah.
Security and safety.
Elaborate.
For one, you do not know how to spell.
Security and safety. Well, what do you need? What do you need from security and safety in a man? What does that mean?
Okay, so security and safety out of a man, meaning that I want to be able to feel like I'm secure in my relationship and I'm secure in life. And I don't have to like sit there and wonder like, is this man going to leave tomorrow? Is this man going to leave in a week?
Yeah. Okay. So she says security and safety, and it's not I need to feel protected. It's I need to feel he's there and with me. The thing that basically she already said. Again, the first time was okay, just like the thing itself was okay, just the way she described it, the whole commitment thing. This is where a thing is she doesn't feel like he's there. She feels like she has no security in this relationship. This whole relationship has obviously been very stressful for her. Very strainful for her. I mean, because of how in love with this guy she is, and she put up with it for a lot longer than she should have.
Like, is he here to be my little pillar to lean on, to be there?
Right. So women, I tell you guys, it's like women want, like you guys that are dealing with women not texting you back, you guys dealing with women fleeing.
You're doing something wrong.
You're doing something wrong. Here's what you guys got to realize: women don't want to flee from men who are masculine or on their purpose.
Oh my god!
Just like you don't want to leave a girly girl.
Like men that are on their purpose and their passion are normally the ones that are that pillar that you can just.
So I mean, again, like they're on their on their purpose or their passion. That makes them a pillar. And dude, she doesn't really. I mean, look, everybody likes to be able to lean on their significant other for emotional support sometimes. Okay, And look, maybe women are a little bit more into it. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the reverse is the case. I don't know. But she doesn't give a fuck about this emotional support. That's not what she wants. What she wants is emotional intimacy. And that's what she just can't get from this guy. And yeah, and that's what she wants. You know, it's not that, like, you know, but she says this thing to, like, I don't know if she's trying to convince herself. I don't know. I know if she's doing it to try to kind of lean into. I think she's doing it maybe as a way to kind of manipulate's probably the wrong word, but it's the best word I can think of. She's thinking like, oh, okay, well, I know I can play this whole masculine ego thing. Like, he's not giving me attention or affection, so I can do it in a way that says, like, look, Casey, you as a man have to provide this. Like, that I really think that's what she's doing, and it's just sad, and it's like it's almost hard to watch.
Right. So if you guys are having pullbacks, if you guys are having women dump you, flake on you, like, you're fucking up.
Something's wrong.
No, it means that she's not in love with you. That's all it means. Whereas your girlfriend's not doing that to you, Casey, because she's in love with you. And no, it's not because you're on your purpose. It's because women are fucking weird. What she sees in you is actually anybody's guess. I don't know. Now, like, you can say, like, is his emotional distance, which almost turns into, like, almost borders on emotional abuse, is that what made her fall in love? I don't know. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible that it had an effect. By itself, it isn't what did it, but it's possible that it had an effect. So, okay, score one for the red pill and stuff, but it's not going to sustain a relationship, as we've seen.
Get your shit together. That's number 4. Is this the last one?
Yep.
Number 5. Number 5. What I like is I like a girly girl. Now, I'm going to explain what this means. I'm all about self-improvement. I'm all about all that. But the thing is this sounds selfish, but I'm about it for me. I don't necessarily need or want a woman to be on that same level. Like, I'm very purpose-driven. I'm passion-driven. I'm ambitious. I want to build a business. That's great if a woman has those qualities too, but here's the thing, it doesn't necessarily make her more...
No, of course you can't say anything. Casey is talking. Nobody can interrupt Casey. Oh, get ready for another ad. Shit. Sorry about this, guys.
Attractive in my eyes.
So I can see that you've checked out my book, but you are yet to pull the trigger and buy this thing, and I am probably...
Okay, guys, I did not check out his book. That's not. I was clicking on videos on YouTube and I watched one of his about cold calling, because you guys know I'm in sales. I didn't know I was going to get blitzed with ads. I don't want anybody thinking that I checked out his book, because I didn't. And anybody who suggests that I did check out his book, you will be banned for life. Yeah, this is true. I mean, well, first of all, I disagree that polarity is attraction, but there does need to be some level of masculine-feminine polarity, generally speaking, at least, and not logical but instinctual. Well, I think it's logical. What I don't think is necessarily that it needs to be an absolute polarity, or even that that's a good deal. Like, I think that I don't see an issue of like what he's saying is true, that like. There's a lot of things that are often seen as attractive in men that men just don't find attractive in women. Like, I mean, which isn't to say they find them unattractive, but for instance, a man being very intelligent, that could be attractive to a woman, but men, for a relationship, they're going to want her to probably be around his intelligence. But her being really intelligent, like really smart, if anything, could act like smarter than him at least, could get to the point where if it's too big a gap, it's actually a turn off. And again, like physical strength, that can be an attractive trait in a man, and it's really not in a woman. Generally speaking, a lot of money, that can be attractive in a man, but men don't really care about it with women. So if he was just saying, I don't care, then I don't really see a problem with that, although you shouldn't have it on the list. I think it's more than that, though. I think he wants a woman that he feels like he's superior to. And this is where we get into kind of problematic grounds. I mean, if for no other reason than what it says about how he feels about himself. You know, if any time that you feel the need to feel superior to anyone, the problem is obviously always how you feel about yourself. If you were truly okay with yourself, you would not need to feel superior to anyone. Needing to feel superior to your partner is an even bigger problem. And it shows, that's going to probably be dangerous to the quality of the relationship. So then, yeah, but other thing what he says about a girly girl, he'll talk about that. I'll let him speak for himself.
I like a girl who cries sometimes, laughs sometimes, like has
Even
an
though he
emotional
complains
roller
about it.
coaster sometimes. Like I complain about it a little bit, like, oh, get your shit together, stop crying. But at the end of the day, like I want a girl to sing and dance and then be like, oh my god, let's go get ice cream. Like it's funny, it's fun.
So like a manic pixie dream girl, that's okay. I mean, dude, I'm no hate. I think that's totally understandable, and I could totally get like a guy. That's an actual like feminine thing. Those kind of like emotional stuff. Like, I mean, I'm not into relationships, but yeah, I like it. I like that stuff too. So I hear what he's saying.
Girls
Oh
just
my God.
girls just want to have fun. I like fun girls. I'm a dude. I like that. Like if a girl's all about like self improvement, like I'm on my shit, I'm on my passion, I'm better in my body. That's great. That's cool. But at the end of the day, like if you're cute, you're flirty, you're fun, you help me out, you're supportive of what I do. Like that's all I need to be happy.
Yeah, you just need to. Well, the only thing he needs to be happy includes having a wife who's really just a secretary.
What's your fifth?
Fifth and final one: intimacy/sex.
Now notice that was my number 2, but this is her number 5.
Yeah, sex isn't number one in every girl isn't. That's not gonna be their number one. Like,
Girls don't get as much validation from having
No.
sex as men do.
It's not about validation, you fucking moron. No, I mean, well, you know what? I'll let her keep talking.
not at all.
Okay.
So my final and fifth one is intimacy/sex. So all you men out there need to realize that you cannot be sexually timid when it comes to having sex.
Oh, like she wants you to drop it down occasionally, is what I'm saying. What she's
Yeah,
saying.
but they're just not going to tell you that. Because what have you always said? Girls don't want to
Girls-
feel...
Girls don't want to have like that social pressure that people thinking like, oh, am I like hoeing around? Am I doing all that? Like girls don't want to feel like that.
But if they can find that
internally,
strong, pillared man that they can lean on...
they're gonna want it. I'm leaving it at that. If you like
Yep.
the video, call.
Well, I didn't like the video. I'm not gonna like it. But okay. Even in this one, we've got a problem. This last one, we got a problem. You might say like, oh well, fifth thing, a woman saying fifth thing, sex is not a problem. Here's the problem, is that she made sure to say sex and intimacy, and which is a sign to me that that's what she's not getting. I think she's getting plenty. I mean, not anymore because they're not together anymore. But I think she's getting plenty of sex from him, and probably more than she wanted, and in ways she didn't want. But the intimacy wasn't there. And as for like you need to be aggressive and stuff, I really think it's because she thinks she can buy his intimacy with sex. This could be a case of me reading too much into it. That's what I see when I watch this. When I watch these two. Sorry this video was so long. See you in the next.